I was at the library bar for 4.5 years, and when I first left, it's really when I started using food and alcohol together. And I knew that it was going to be a natural progression going into food, and I love seafood. And what's great about this is it just becomes this canvas where you can really do anything you want. So I'm going to show you something that is similar to that, and I want to really stress that this is what I'm doing. I think it's very simple so that it's easy for you to kind of replicate at home. But more importantly, it really should be an inspiration for you to kind of come up with what you want. So I'm actually going to use sea urchin today. If you don't know what sea urchin is, it's those big spiny things. There's actually 950 varieties of sea urchin around the world, and the most famous would probably be Japan and Santa Barbara. So I'm very close to Santa Barbara here. I live an hour and a half away. Santa Barbara uni is incredible, and believe it or not, it's actually legal for a diver like myself or anyone who doesn't have a commercial license. You can actually take up to 35 sea urchin a day, which is really unbelievable. But it's super delicious. It's got this great, creamy kind of ocean flavor. It's pretty much at every sushi restaurant, so there might be a chance that you've had it for sure. But anyways, we're going to do a simple bite here, and it's really just alcohol and some other things on top of it. So the alcohol that I'm going to use today is called Green Chartreuse. If you don't know what that is, it is a herbal liqueur. It's actually high proof. It's about 55% alcohol. It's 110 proof. And this goes back to the 1700s to a monastery in France that had created this elixir out of 130 plants and herbs. And very, very common even today for different monasteries in those regions to kind of create their own elixir. And they're all different, but they're usually using wild forage plants. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a uni shooter. And we're going to start off, I've got this little eyedropper here that I filled with the green chartreuse so it's easier to work with. And I usually do 2 little eye drops of that. And this stuff is strong, but you're putting a lot of stuff on it, so you want that to kind of, live up to it. So we're going to take this uni here. What's nice is I already have a fisherman that takes it out of the shell for me. You can take it and clean it out of the shell. It just doesn't look as pretty when you haven't done it. You know what I mean? If you don't really know how to do it, it doesn't look as symmetrical and beautiful as this is. So I buy that, so I'm going to lay that down there. And then what I've done is I roasted some bell peppers, and easily just can put them over the barbecue, or you can put them on your stove if you have a flame and just get them really, really roasted, peel the skin off. And then what they're doing is these are actually sitting in white balsamic vinegar. You could use olive oil and garlic. You could use anything you want, and that's the whole point of this is you will create whatever you want. This is really just a blueprint, and this is what I'm serving right now to people that I have come over. So I have the uni. I'm going to cut this up. I also love this Italian chef came, like a real chef from Italy, and he's like, I can't tell my mother that you put bell peppers with uni. I can't tell her that. So I love that. All right, so we've got that, and then we're going to put some salmon eggs on top. These are salmon eggs. You could use white fish roe. If you're really thinking about colors and contrast, obviously some nice black caviar would work perfectly on that. But we're going to take these little salmon eggs, put that on top there. And now you've created this bit. And all I've done, so you know, this is just like a dumpling spoon that people use for dumplings. You could probably get it for $1.50 in some store. You could probably definitely get it online. I get these at like a bargain kind of warehouse for things. And there you go. This is your uni bite. So it's Santa Barbara uni, green chartreuse, roasted bell peppers and white balsamic, and salmon eggs. And this is the perfect thing if someone is halfway through a drink and you're about to make another drink. This is a great thing to kind of slip in there, and it's really great. The chartreuse you hit right away. Ocean, bell peppers coming at the end. And like I said, this is just a blueprint for you to do anything you want. You could use a different fish. You could use salmon, smoked salmon. You could put an oyster on that. You could do different types of alcohol, sakis and sojus, and scotches would be great with that. If you don't want to use alcohol, use fresh juices and orange juice and watermelon juice and you know, maybe more apple cider vinegar or kombucha. So you really can be creative with this. You could do all kinds of herbs and vegetables. So the whole point of this is to really have fun with it, really explore it, and use things that you love. I just happen to love uni. So cheers.